Good morning, motorcycle friends. I decided to get my GoPro out that I haven't used in like 3 years and have some fun with it this summer. I renamed my YouTube channel 5 Bike Mike. So this morning we're going to take the Kawasaki H2 750 triple two-stroke out for a rip, and we'll go for a ride. Okay, I got my H2 out of the showroom yesterday, and I got it out in the garage, and I'm going to take it for its first ride of 2024. And to some of my newer friends, I bought this bike in 2022 in I think June or July, and I drove to Houston, Texas for it, and 3,400 miles round trip. I did it 2 days out, 2 days back. Paid a lot of money for the bike. It didn't run, it wasn't locked up, but I could tell by the pictures it was well taken care of, and it was all original, except for the pipes and the K&N AirPods that were on it. And so I always wanted one back in the day and never got one. So here it is 50 years later. So it's a 1974 H2B. They made these bikes for 4 years back then. Yeah, awesome. Two-stroke street bikes. Doesn't get any better than that. And but they made them for 4 years. This is a 74. And I would have bought any year, any color. But this was my favorite. The Kawasaki green with the in it being a 74. It's a little bit different than the 72s. The 72s were a little faster, a little harder to ride, had a shorter swing arm and all. But so when I seen this, I brought it home, and I was gonna decided to do a restoration project, not restoration, a rebuild. It's all original paint, and most things are original on the bike. So all I did was a complete mechanical rebuild. And but anyway, for some of my younger friends, this is how we had it back in the day. You had a headlight switch, and back then you had a choice to turn it off or on. And then somewhere around in the mid-70s, they ended up going with the headlights. Somebody thought it was a good idea to, to be seen on the highway so you wouldn't get hit. So the headlights were always on. But these bikes, you have to turn them off and on. Everything's mechanical. Kickstart, no magic button. Kickstarter, mechanical speedometer. Got a cable driven, runs off the front wheel. Mechanical tack. Cable driven, runs off the oil pump gear. And back in the day, no fuel injection, all carburetors, which I totally rebuilt. And I installed Ivan's jet kit. He developed this jet kit over a period of 2 or 3 years, and what a difference. These bikes surged like crazy. When you were slowing down, they would buck like a Bronco, especially if you had them running lean. And his jet kit, custom designed needles and needle jets, 98% eliminated. So it's just awesome. And he gives you a complete kit with all of his recommendations, with 6 different jet sizes, 3 different pilot size jets, and gaskets, screws, and everything's all Mikuni. And I tell you what, so it was well worth the $250. And the bike ran okay with the jetting that I had in it, but I tell you what, this is just, it was icing on a cake. Drum brake in the back, which actually works pretty good, and disc brake in the front. This was the early years for the disc brakes, and I tell you what, that doesn't work very good. But you know what, you just ride it within its limits. So we're going to take it out for its first ride of 2024, and when I finished the mechanical rebuild on it in the end of 2022, I got a chance to put 400 miles on it, and it ran great. So last summer I put another 3,000, so there's 3,400 miles on this. And the only problem I had, it has run absolutely flawless. The only problem I've had was there's a little knob here that you turn the steering dampener, adjust it, and that I never obviously Loctited the screw, and so that came off. I have another one ready to go on. I'll change that next week. So, but it ran perfect last year when I put it in the showroom. I went through the whole bike, and so I expect the same thing today. We'll take it out, give it a rip. Okay, we'll go out and do a quick ride here. And, oh, I can't believe I got that in Pennsylvania. Absolutely perfect plate for it. And, well, I probably should close my garage door before I go. Although I've gone for rides before and kind of left it open, but that's that memory thing. I tell you what, to me, oh, look at that smoke. That is so awesome. And does it smell good? And to me, nothing sounds better than a two-stroke triple. A very unique sound. These aren't my favorite pipes. They were on the bike when I got it. They're late model Bill Ward, just expansion chambers. I have them packed because I went through the whole thing and I repacked them. But I'm gonna change them when I get older and don't put a lot of miles on a bike. And I'll put a set of reproduction stock pipes on it. I was going to do that this year, but for $1,800, I noticed last year with putting 3,400 miles on a bike, the center pipe is getting sandblasted just from the road debris. So, you know what? So, I just wear earplugs when I ride it. I don't have them in now. I forgot to put them in. Memory thing again. So, but, oh. Forgot my gloves. Okay, got my gloves on, and we're gonna take it for a ride around what I call the country block. So, also another unique thing that Kawasaki's back in the day. Neutral at the bottom, so you got to pull up for first, and all the gears are up. It's a 5-speed. Foot peg down. Oh, does this feel good? It's been since last October that I've been out with it. Oh man, does this feel good? First time on it since last October. I tell you what, you know you're riding a bike when you're on one of these. And for all the things that were written about how bad they handled, you gotta remember it's a 50-year-old bike. And to tell you the truth, well, check this out, Corvair. Awesome. I love that. Lost my train of thought here. But yeah, as far as the bike's handling, this is a 74, so it has a longer swing arm and it's a little bit refined. It's a little slower than a 72s and all. But if you keep it under 70 miles an hour and under, say, 5,000-6,000 RPM, it rides just fine. When you get going faster and push it, the frame flexes. So, it's got a lot of height, so you can really lean it. So it's a blast to ride. Looks like I just ran out of fuel. The bike's very happy idling. It'll idle all day. Actually, I'm still running the same set of spark plugs. that I rebuilt it with. 3,400 miles. Unbelievable. It's just a rip to ride. It sounds awesome. Oh, there's somebody else filling up.
They have a Honda 750.
Yeah, they were the CB 750s in the 70s.
A megaphone type pipe.
Yep.
Thing like this.
Yep.
It's quick, but it wasn't too comfortable.
Yeah, you know what? That was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So up to Houston, Texas for this bike, and in the end of 22 in.
All the way to you flew out there.
No, I drove with I live right up here in Dallas, so I've been looking for one for a long time, and when I found this on eBay, I could tell it was well taken care of. It was unmolested, and it was all original except for the pipes and it had different air cleaners on it. And so now it didn't run or anything, and it had sat in the garage for 36 years. So I'm running out of years to do this stuff because I'm almost 70. So I said, screw this. 2 days out to Houston, the other side of Houston, in Katy, Texas, 1,700 miles. I loaded it up in my race trailer, and I drove back 2 days, and then I tore it all apart, and I did a complete mechanical rebuild. Last year, I got 3,400 miles on this last summer, and it has run flawless. But you know what? It's just sold. It's 50 years old. Everything's mechanical, Kickstarter, and I tell you what. Yep, and I tell you what, yeah, there's no electric start. It's just, but these were fast bikes in their day. Now, by today's standards, they're not fast, but back in the day. So, yeah, this is cool. But let's see what you're riding. I love bikes, and I got a new Yamaha 2024. I'm going to try hitting the roads and doing some touring, but I've never done that. Well, you guys keep these bikes clean. Holy crap. Yeah, oh my God, yeah, look, that's awful. No, that's beautiful. But that looks comfortable too. You know what? We need comfortable. At least I do. My joints hurt.
I took this off.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try it just without it, and I had a sore back.
Yep.
I gotta have this.
I hear you. Anyway, let's get out there and ride. Hey, nice talking to you. Okay, we got her all filled up with 93, and we'll go out and continue our ride. Off reserve. Foot peg up. Starts first kick when it's warm, first kick every time. When it's cold, 2 to 3 kicks. I spent a lot of money doing the rebuild, and I spent a lot of money for the bike to begin with. It didn't run, but it wasn't locked up, but it had sat for 36 years. So I did a complete mechanical rebuild, everything. Redid the wheel bearings, the new steering head bearings, seals, new fork springs. I went through the whole bike. I sent the crankshaft out to California to Dave Singleton Sr., and he rebuilt the crank, new rods, new bearings, new seals, new oil slingers. I decided, I knew I was going to put a lot of miles on the bike, so I decided to rebuild. These bikes came with oil injection, so I decided to rebuild the oil pump. You can run premix in them, but the bike only gets about 22 miles a gallon, and so by putting a lot of miles on it, you got to stop like every 80 miles and get gas. So I did. I wanted the oil pump, so I rebuilt that, and they worked perfect back in the day. So, and I had it on the road at the end of 2022 with the stock ignition system, and it ran great. But I knew I was going to put a lot of miles on it, so in the spring of 2023, last year, I decided to pull all of the old ignition off of it, and I bought a new CDI box, regulator, rectifier from Rick's Electronics up in, I think he's in New Hampshire. And I sent him the stator too, and he rewound the stator. I put a new set of coils on it, and I tell you what, I still got the same spark plugs in it after 3,400 miles. I wasn't sure how it was all going to turn out, but like I said, it's at almost 70 years old. You know what? No more time to be fiddling around. It's get out there and do it. If it works, it works. And I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, but I took my time. I had 2 shop manuals that came with the bike, and I had the internet. And so I had the crank rebuilt, and then I had a local race shop do the cylinder work, and I had a new set of Washner pistons fitted. And so new top end, new bottom end. I went through everything that was mechanical. Rebuilt the fuel petcock, that's original, works perfect. Master cylinder, that's original. Same thing with the caliper. You know, almost everything's original on this bike. And so I got it out on the road, and in the fall of 2022, and it ran just, I was absolutely surprised. Now, I wasn't sure how long how it was going to go. Love it. And it still rips back, you know, for what it is. I didn't buy it to race it. You know what? I mean, it's a 12-second bike. Now, I did a lot of rides last year to put 3,000 miles on it last summer. A lot of rides, 100 miles. I did a couple days over 200 miles. Stop and go traffic, 90-degree temperatures, 50-degree temperatures, country roads, interstate highways. I tell you what, it just ran beautiful. This ride's going exactly like I thought. It's just the way it ran when I put it away in last October, so I'm happy. So anyway, we're gonna get her back in the garage here and clean it up, cover it up, and then we'll see what tomorrow brings.